I'm dealing with personally, first off, I'm not going to have any perfect answers for anybody. But what I'm learning is that I just don't regulate my body temperature well at all anymore. And traveling around and being in slightly different microclimates, I'm trying to really learn how to take care of myself and my symptoms when I can't control the weather, which is all the time. So, and part of what I'm learning is that I just can't be in the hot heat for very long in high temperatures. And what I've found is that I get almost heat exhaustion really quickly. I sweat, I feel faint, and it's frustrating because, I'm working hard to not let Parkinson's rule my life or be defined by that. But then to have such a profound physical reaction to something that I didn't used to have. I mean, I swim team for years growing up. I grew up in the hot Central Valley in California. And literally I am brought to my knees by the heat. And then it's hard to recover from. And so I'm trying to learn some ways to get creative about planning for that. One of them is I'm going to need to spend the hottest part of the day somewhere in air conditioning or in a pool or by a river that I can dip my feet in. And so I'm having to change and pivot my life a little bit in the moment, place to place to do that. And that's hard. That's some giving up. That's some loss. That's different than I thought we would be out traveling. So there's some sadness, but I also think that it becomes really clear that it's not comfortable and sustainable to be out in the heat. So, and all my symptoms are worse. I tremor more. It takes me 2 days to recover. My dystonia. It's almost like my meds don't work as well when I'm fighting that hard to regulate my temperature. So anyway, I'm learning a lot. It's humbling. Brings me to my knees.
It's all about adjustments, right?
It's all about adjustments and the pivot. I'm going to quote our dear friend Kevin, pivot, but not falling is my hope.
I have a quick question for you, Kat. How long has it been that you've been experiencing this?
So I will say it's gotten progressively more acute. In other words, my window of tolerance has gotten smaller and smaller the last few years. It definitely has been more acute the last couple of months in the heat when it got really hot. Yeah.
It's been with me for a long time. I think
has it?
One of the first things I was unable to do is regulate my body temperature. It's been
so
really.
Did you sweat more, or how
yes.
did you know that? Yeah, so that started
profusely. Early. Yep, that started early, and I really have a tough time regulating my body temperature, which causes stress and all kinds of stuff. And like all the symptoms just expound on themselves, and just gets worse and worse and worse. So learn how to cool my body.
Does it happen in the cold too for you, Tom?
No, unfortunately not. It doesn't really happen much in the cold. I don't have much trouble keeping my body warm. It's a lot. I think it's a lot more difficult to cool your body than it is to keep your body warm. Of course, I don't ski much anymore and stuff like that, so I'm not out in it. And the humidity racks up. It makes it really bad. It compounds it big time.
I can't even remember where I was hearing this. I think we were talking about it yesterday at work, but they were talking about how in super, super hot places, Dubai, everything like that, they actually drink really, really hot tea when it's 1,000,000 degrees. And that's something that works for them. So that sounds awful, in my opinion, like to drink hot tea when it's really hot out. But that's a strategy that people have used. And then also they say covering up. Is actually, counterintuitive, but it does, it helps if you have like a lot of, especially like those really light SPF, like long white shirts, white things like that. Help.
There are techniques to cool your body, that you can use. Like I'll have a cold rag. I'll literally put it over my head, around my neck, and that helps a lot. That I used to wear when I rode my bike more and stuff like that. But there's some tools and techniques you can learn to cool your body quickly, which helps me a lot. Just running your hands under cold water, right in your wrist, just putting your wrist right into the cold water. Just really cool it down nice and quick, and opening your hands because they act like radiators, can dissipate the heat much quicker than normal. So
and then don't move.
Yeah, don't move. Yeah,
And then
exactly.
don't,
Find a
just don't
fan.
move in general.
Yeah,
Um,
interesting. And probably I had it longer. Now that you're asking, it's very interesting. I wrote everything off to perimenopause, but it may indeed have been Parkinson's. So,
Yeah.
interesting. Thank you.